give it up for Friday and give it up for the Frictionas as well. You know how we do it here on this YouTube channel. We come at you every single Friday with fun, entertaining, and goofy ass news coming around from all around the nation, all around the world. I am Arthur Rawe, really happy to be the MC on this episode. And sitting across the table from me, I have an astute gentleman that looks like he's been rubbing against a sharpening stone because he is the razor sharp Kevin Batstone.
Happy Friday, America. Thanks again for joining us here. Always a pleasure to be here with you, Art. Love doing the show. And I'll tell you what, if you're a sports fan, there's no better time than right now. The World Series, Game 1 tonight. NASCAR playoffs. Hockey's back. Basketball's back. It's a sports fan's dream right now. Let's go, Art.
Yeah, let's get into this, and let's keep it cheery. And what happened today in history, we're about to find out. We got a couple things here. So, as always, I had to bring this in. 1775, the U.S. Navy forms the Constitutional Navy. I mean, I had to put that in there when I saw it.
That's pretty impressive stuff. You know, that's pretty cool. I love how you always find very military-related things that happen on this day in history. But it's great to have this as a reminder. Look, a lot of people didn't like history in high school. And if you didn't like history in high school, you're going to like it right here on Happy Friday, America.
A lot of fun. 1919 coming in on there. And honestly, I think you're going to have fun with this one, and anyone else who's out there all into all the murder mysteries and all these serial killer type people. So in 1919, Axeman of New Orleans claims their last victim. I don't even know who the Axeman of New Orleans was. Have you heard about this one before?
No, I know more about the Scranton Strangler from The Office than I do this feller here. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, me neither. Either way, last victim of that guy right around Halloween time. So be careful out there. Have fun. Have fun, though. And what else we got here? We got 1992 Great Britain issues the postage stamp on the 100th anniversary of JRR Tolkien. Now, we were talking about how he released Return of the King on one of our recent episodes, so I figured we'd bring that back one time and to celebrate that commemoration.
Yeah, it's kind of commemorative. Keep it moving along. In 2017, so just a handful of years ago, the first operation to separate conjoined twins that were joined at the head was completed in New Delhi. Pretty crazy stuff, man. Usually they don't make it, these conjoined twins. Do you remember that program that was on TLC that was those two girls that literally it was the same body, two heads?
I think I do recall that one.
And they're like in their 30s now, and they've defied the odds. They're still alive. They haven't tried to have any operations. How can they? The conjoined twins at the head, they have two separate bodies. But can you imagine one body, two heads? You're stuck with this person for life.
Yeah, I mean that's a different type of existence.
That sure is how it is.
And we might be talking about something similar to that on this episode.
This is true. Well, I mean, we know everything dies at some point or another. And typically our furry friends, they're around for a portion of our life. We're usually, 15 to 20 years, your furry friend, your dog. Canines don't typically live past, I would say, 20, 21 years old, depending on the breed. Well, Bobi, the world's oldest dog, has passed away, unfortunately. He was born May 11th, 1992, out there in Conqueiros, Portugal. Okay. Man, think about that, May 11th, 1992. This dog was born, and he just passed away. I mean, just incredible. The American Kennel Club, recognized it. Everyone was following him. He became like a legend. Yeah, he's a legend because they're like, how long is this dog going to go? Yeah. Once he crossed that line of whatever the previous dog set the record at, I think it was somewhere in the lines of 27 years, 28 years, something like that. This dog's like, man, I'm going to 31.
I like that.
What is that in dog years? That's like 160.
Isn't it 7 per year?
I think it's 7 per year. So whatever.
Is it 7 per year?
I believe so.
So that dog lived healthy.
That's a full
Portugal.
Life. Portugal, yep.
So they're doing something out there.
It's the food.
It's the food. It's the good food. So here's the thing too: is just like when in the 40s they broke the speed record on foot for like a 4-minute mile, and then all of a sudden everybody else started beating it. Yeah. So now that this is out there, I have high hopes that dogs are going to start living longer. That's where I feel like this is going to go.
I really do think it has a lot to do with the food. And the way those guys eat so clean down there, they really do. And I just think that has a lot to do with the diet. People are feeding their dogs, kibble and all this garbage. It's no good. We have the pedigree factory right here in Denver, Colorado. It reeks when you drive by there. They're just burning up all God knows what in there. But I don't know, man. I think it's the food. R.I.P. to this dog. Pretty cool story. And so we just pay a tribute to this dog, Bobi.
Bobi, B-O-B-I-R-I-P. And great job on the ownership or the owners of that dog. I'm sure beyond the diet, that there was a lot of love and affection too that helped this animal sustain a happy life and to live that long. So that's awesome to hear. I'm happy that you brought that one up. Shout out Kyle Mates, my friend, who actually recommended this one. This one's too funny to pass up, man.
All right.
And I wanted to give everybody viewing plenty of leeway time or time to plan for this, right? We're all adults. Schedules get busy. We got to plan things out. So the Florida Man Games are actually a thing.
This is the most American thing I've ever heard.
The Florida Man Games. And this is in February 2024, right? So we got time. We have some time to plan this out. Augustine, Florida is where it will be taking place. I grabbed only a couple of the events and stuff that they have going on here, but they're going to do things like weaponized pool noodle, mud duel. So that sounds fun. Evading arrest obstacle course.
That sounds like really fun.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite one.
Yeah, go for it.
The beer belly Florida sumo.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have these big old beer drinking, good corn-fed hillbillies out there going at it, a little bit of sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, and they got a whole list of things. Also, two cool-ass judges. They have pinup lady contests, like all this stuff is going on.
Chicken coop bingo.
Yeah, chicken coop bingo. So I don't know how that works. Like you do a bingo, the chickens run around the coop and wherever they land or something.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun time. My question is, living in Colorado, would you plan to attend this, or if you lived close to Augustine, Florida, would you go?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't make the trip from Colorado. Now, if I did live close to St. Augustine, which is a beautiful town, by the way, right there on the east side, it's kind of like one of the hidden gems I hear about Florida.
Interesting.
Because all these other areas are so populated. But if I lived, let's say I would need to live close enough that I can drive to the event, finish the event, and drive home. Like,
okay,
I'm not making this a whole weekend thing.
You're not trying to sleep over or nothing
No,
like
I don't
that.
think I'm making a weekend out of it.
Yeah.
Not like the NASCAR championship next weekend. That's different.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure this is a hell of a lot of fun to drink beer and just watch people go wild.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. The website, go to the show notes and go ahead and click that link. They got a lot of great art on there. Other events that I didn't cover here, but something going on. It's going to be fun, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that as we lead up to it. So continuing to move forward, there can be a lot of clowns in Florida. There's always Florida news and stuff like that, but there was a clown involved in another type of newsworthy story.
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to scroll down into the show notes down below here on YouTube and click on this so you can see exactly what this looks like. So there was a guy driving on 405 in Washington State, and he was pulled over by a state patrol officer in a HOV lane, right? He goes, man, this is a high-occupied vehicle. That's what HOV is. Usually 2 or more people is what will qualify for that. So he gets pulled over. They do audits like this all the time. People are always trying to, break the rules there and this and that. So when he pulls him over, he comes to find out that this guy's got one of the creepiest looking clowns.
Super creepy looking.
I mean, just sitting there in the passenger seat. You would think at least. I mean, I guess it's Halloween time, so maybe they thought, someone's dressed up.
It's funny.
It's kind of funny, but at the same time, he was cited a ticket for driving in the HOV lane with only him, as the driver. I've known people that have tried this before. They'll buy dummies and put it in the seats.
So they tried and failed?
They tried and failed, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they were audited, so to speak. Cops like, I'm pulling this guy over. Do you have more than 2 people in this vehicle? And he finds this clown.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not worth cheating the system sometimes. What you're going to save, 5 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
And then how much time does it take to get pulled over? Way more than the 5-10 minutes that you saved.
Oh, yeah, now you got to run, you got to run the license plate, you got to run the license.
Yeah.
It's a whole ordeal.
Well, yeah, and that clown was one of the creepiest looking clowns that I've seen. Like, he couldn't find something that looked a little bit more, but maybe you're right, going with the Halloween theme. Maybe it's somebody dressed up, but I mean, come on, man. That's kind of how I feel. Is a good old classic. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, you tried it. I'll give you credit for trying to, essentially cheat the system. And you know what? That's what happens when you cheat the system. It will catch up to you.
It will catch up to you. And one thing that will catch up to us all in this life is, the other side. We are all but mortal. So
yes,
for this week's Would You Rather, I had a question that is kind of involved in that. So our Would You Rather, and again, we do polls on Would You Rather. You could do it on Twitter and X. You could check that out, or the comments below on YouTube. Kev, what were the results from last week?
Yeah, so coming in, a perfect split. 75,
really?
Yeah, 75%. We had exactly 100 votes on this poll.
Okay.
100 votes on the Twitter poll. 75% went with the puppies. 25% went with the 2 children. So last week's
Okay.
Would You Rather was would you rather adopt 10 puppies or 2 children? 75% went with the puppies.
Okay. I asked some people in person too, and I got mixed reviews. So it's fun. It's fun to hear the justification for each too. You can really get to know people. You know, if you're out there in the dating pool right now, maybe you take these would you rathers and
They're fun conversation starters.
Bring them to the live market.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, when you have one of those awkward moments, you hit them with a would you rather.
Yeah, you're like,
start thinking.
it's getting a little slow right now. So, would you rather?
Yep.
So this week,
What do we got?
would you rather be born again as yourself or somebody else? But here's the caveat: is you remember this life. Which are you going to choose?
I mean, I don't really see any reason to be anyone else. So I'm going to take being born again as myself. After I've completed this life, born again, but remembering this life, I'm going with that route. I can't really think of anyone I'd want to be born as other than myself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what would that look like if you were born as someone else? Like,
Well, who knows? You could be born into a family with more money.
I see.
You could be born into a situation that's maybe a little bit more dire. So you're rolling the dice by being born as somebody else.
Yeah.
And look, you can make up your own rules. Like you could potentially be born in the future, or maybe like time is not linear, and you might be able to get born into the past or something.
oh, that'd be cool.
So who knows with all that? I guess the rules are open there.
All right. But the main talking point is, would you rather be born as yourself or somebody else?
Yes. Yes.
And then whatever that looks like is what it is.
Yeah. And if you're born as yourself again, then you have to remember if you recall this past life, you would have to almost do everything the exact same for your life to be as it is right now. Mm-hmm. If I was born as myself again, I don't know if I would be the same Arthur completely that I am today here with you.
Right.
You know, so it's almost like if you choose that option, your life isn't going to be the same as it was your first go.
You're not hitting replay.
No, because how are you going to duplicate
You're
everything?
You're not. You're just going to remember what you already did.
Yeah.
And maybe take those lessons and do things differently again.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to end up having a different life regardless.
Yeah. I'm still sticking with myself.
Yeah, sticking with yourself. That's what I'm sticking to. That's what I've heard from people. I've asked this. Sometimes I ask this question, get a feel before we do the episode.
Test the waters out in the market.
So leave your comment. What's your answer? Are you going to be born again as yourself or somebody else with the knowledge that you've gained in this life?
Yep.
And definitely go to X and Twitter for the poll as well.
Yep, that's at Happy Fry, F-R-I, over there on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I still will probably always call it Twitter. All right, moving on. One of my favorite segments of the week, Kev's Random Records. There's always so many to choose from, too.
There was a bunch.
There's a lot of records being broken at all times.
Even the dog, we broke a record. I mean,
the dog broke a record. There's a lot of records happening, but it just, this one seems good because, first of all, I like grilled cheese.
Oh.
It reminds me of my childhood, a grilled cheese with tomato soup.
Oh, right? So good.
Like, Mom would make that for me on a cold day or if I was sick. Man, it was good. I love grilled cheese, and I still do to this day. Simple and delicious. Well, Wisconsin brothers ended up breaking the record for the largest grilled cheese ever made, measuring 10.9 feet long and 6.25 feet wide. I mean, think about that. That thing is massive. Absolutely massive. I mean, that's almost the size of the studio. As far as the 10.9 feet.
Doug, I hope it was on sourdough bread, because that's the type. What kind of bread are they doing? How do you bake a loaf of bread? Did they also simultaneously break a record for the biggest loaf of bread ever baked?
They used a custom welded pan. It was a custom welded pan with more than 300 pounds. 300 pounds of dough and 60 pounds of cheese. 60 pounds of cheese.
Wow.
I mean, this thing was massive. So, yeah, I would encourage folks to scroll down, click this, and take a look at the picture of it because it's absolutely massive.
I don't know why. We just ate pizza and stuff.
I know. It sounds good, huh?
But this is, it's getting my mouth watering. It's like a Sprigget.
For grilled cheese?
Yeah, it sounds so good, man.
They're so easy to make.
Well, and it's been one of those days, too. It's been all, like, foggy. The clouds haven't left the ground here in Colorado today, which is a Thursday.
Right.
Obviously, releasing this on Friday. But it's been one of those cozy type of days, man.
Well, wait till this weekend because we got a lot of weather coming in this weekend. Don't have time for that segment, Art. But, yeah, this grilled cheese, I want a slice.
Hey, why don't we have time for Happy Friday, America's chief meteorologist, to come in and start, with this weather stuff.
Oh, don't worry, America. You can definitely count on me as the severe weather and winter weather season, cranks up. We're gonna keep an eye on things. Obviously, keeping an eye on the Hurricane Otis, and as it made landfall, it did massive damage down there in Mexico. And so, we're keeping an eye on things here at the Happy Friday Weather Studios, and we will keep you updated with any breaking weather alerts.
Excellent. So we got breaking news for all the Beatle fans out there. So this one is pretty cool. The last new song from the Beatles will be released November 2nd.
Wow.
And it's an interesting story, right? Because how do you get a new song from the Beatles when 2 of the 4 members are no longer with us?
Right.
How does this work? And why wasn't it ever released in the first place? So
right.
I skimmed through this. I didn't include all the details from this article. Go check it out. You guys know what the deal is. But with this, it's called Now and Then, and it's going to be released on the 2nd, like I said. It was originally part of a single paired with Love Me Do, and that was the very first Beatles single that came out in 1962. So what's going on with this? There was some technical issues back in the day that they couldn't release it. And so now, with the help of AI, they were able to go and clean up this piano part with vocals, I believe, and remove the vocal. It was something where a couple of the audios were on one audio wave file, and they needed to clean that up somehow. So they found the technology to do it. They got it done, and it's going to be releasing soon. So that's kind of fun, man.
It is. I mean, the Beatles are epic, and we've seen this happen before. When Tupac passed, when Notorious B.I.G. passed, we had all of these songs that were unreleased.
So many.
There was so many underground tracks that then were remixed and remastered, re-released, and listed under the name and the label, given the royalties and the rights to the family. So I think this is cool for the Beatles. I've always liked their music, and so yesterday was my parents' 49th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Congratulations.
They're coming up on the golden
Congratulations.
one. And so the reason that it's relevant is because their wedding song is The Beatles in My Life.
Okay.
Right? So pretty cool stuff there. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love the Beatles. Can't wait to hear this song next Thursday.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to listen to. And yeah, it is like the Tupac and stuff. There was actually that one album that Eminem produced that was Tupac's, was Loyal to the Game, I think was the name of it. That shit knocked.
Oh, yeah.
It was good.
There's a lot of good music out there. Even when, like you said, 2 out of the 4 members are gone. I'd be curious to see what this is going to sound like, and if it's going to have that old school Beatles sound still, or will the AI kind of make it more modern? I mean, we see, the Rolling Stones and a lot of these old bands, they have their albums remastered, remixed, and re-released, and it just sounds so much better. You're going from 8-track to digital. Some people think that CDs still sound better than MP3s or digital wave files, so to speak, Josh. And I just disagree with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sound quality is really good across the board. And there is something unique about that older music that's hard to replicate with all this digital engineering that we're able to do nowadays. Because you would get a band like Pink Floyd in the studio, and they would be using a pot pan to make a specific noise on the song, and it's kind of rough, and it's a little gritty, but that's a unique sound. That's part of what made it special. Right. So I hope that they're able to keep some of that flavor within it. Obviously, it's 2023 coming in 2024 now, which is crazy that Halloween is already upon us, but I think it's going to sound good.
I do too.
And I hope they keep some of the classic sound in there.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a nice flavor of that. I look forward to hearing that next week after Halloween, of course.
After Halloween,
Halloween is coming up, man.
It's coming up. It's here. I've had some opportunities to go to some Halloween parties. Look, my priorities have shifted in life.
I agree.
I remember when I was younger, I would be like, where's this at? I'd be looking for all the cute girls out there in the Halloween suits or whatever they got on, and go having fun, drinking extra, getting extra spooky with the night, but it's kind of changed. So I'm not even jonesing to go to a Halloween party. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Discussion Combustion last week, we had Jamie on, a guy that we used to do a lot of Halloween parties with, and I got to dress up as Joe Exotic and, do all these fun kind of characters, Bob Ross, and I had fun with it. But for me, it's not something that really excites me. I mean, I get people are into it. It's a fun time of year. It's, leaves are on the ground.
If you got kids too,
that's different.
You get them involved. That's a fun part.
And it's changed though, Art, because trick or treating when you and I were kids is not what it is today.
Yeah.
first of all, the world's way crazier. I mean, back in the day, me and my buddies, I remember my mom we had this old Ford Escort wagon, and we would just pop the trunk open, and she would just drive down the streets, and I would just, sit on the back with my buddies or whatever, and we would just hit every house on that street, and then we would drive to the next one. I mean, we would have bags of candy, just running around trying to get as much candy as we could trick-or-treating. That was fun as a kid.
That was fun. And I remember back then, too, man, I was not even 9 years old with some of these memories, and they're just kind of flooding back right now. I thought it was so cool. We'd have the pillowcase. That's what we would go out with for the trick-or-treat bag. And this thing would be like an eighth full, quarter full. It was heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And I always remember kind of being like, oh, what am I going to snack out of here? I feel like my parents gave me free reign on that candy bag, too.
You were just eating candy like crazy?
But my dad would come in and, take his taxes, his rations out of it. It was like the dad tax.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I really wanted that one, But I had more, but I didn't know how to be selfless as I am now back then.
I was on the hunt for that Snicker. I wanted that Snicker, boy.
Yeah, the Snicker.
The Snicker's what I wanted, and I ended up with, remember those weird candies? They were wrapped up almost like a toffee.
Okay.
And there was no writing on it. It was like red, yellow, and you'd unroll them, and it was like a toffee, but they tasted weird. And it was always at the old lady's house that you would get those. And I was like, man, she'd be like, here you go, kids. And you're like, this one sucks. Where's that? Give me that Snicker.
Yeah, let me get a Snickers bar. Even the what is it, Mr. Goodie Bar? Those are good.
Mr. Goodie Bar is good.
Just a peanut and chocolate, so simple.
Reese's. I always say it wrong.
Reese's. It's the same.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
I'm not sure what it is, but then I kind of like the fun packs too, the Skittles, like little Skittle packs and all that. Those started coming out in the 90s, I feel like. Yeah. Whereas the 80s and the 70s, I'm sure some of our older listeners can attest, trick-or-treating then, you were just getting massive candy bars. And then the fun size thing started rolling out for Halloween, and that was a brilliant idea.
Oh, it was. So if you were to do some kind of Halloween celebration, maybe we go out this weekend. Who knows?
I don't know about that.
Who knows? Maybe we end up out. I don't know yet. But if we do, what are you going out as? What's your Halloween costume this year?
I don't have one because, remember, we said on discussion.
No, but let's say if you do.
Well, the only thing I have currently to work with without buying anything would be a police officer.
A police officer.
I probably could pull off Rip Wheeler. I probably could. I mean, I could. I have a short jacket that would work. Yeah. I could play Rip.
Okay. Myself, I would be a dirty construction worker. I got the hard hat. I got the reflective vest. I got the tool belt. I have the dirty pants. I have the paint splotted shoes. Maybe it's because I've done that work before, and I'm just recycling the clothes.
That's a smart Halloween costume.
That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it for sure. Yeah, I don't know if we're dressing up this year. I'm not sure. One thing that is going to happen on Halloween this year, Art, is we will be getting Movember. And so I'm shaving the beard off. Next time you see me on YouTube, it'll be just a mustache.
Just the mustache. That's going to be so fun. However you want to rock it, we got to do it.
It's Movember coming up, but we got Halloween.
And you're doing that because I didn't commit to this. This was a
no, you weren't involved with this.
This is a brokered deal that I wasn't involved in the conversation.
This is with other people in our group that you folks don't know about, but some of our very dear friends.
Yes,
we've agreed to do Movember.
Yes,
and it was going to be No Shave November, and then we kicked some things around. Now I'm going to be rocking a stash. And we're still not completely clear on what the rules on this is yet. As we can tell, some of the guys in our group we can't agree on what the rule is and what it isn't. But the fact remains something's going to happen.
Yes.
You can count on that. So this weekend, I just want to tell everyone to be safe out there, right? There are a lot of parties happening. People are dressed up. People drink a lot. Take an Uber, ride share, stay overnight. Don't drink and drive. Have fun, though. It's fun. Go out there. Be smart, though. Don't do anything silly. Don't do stupid shit like I used to do.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good word to put out to the people. And, be as responsible as you can. Something I've learned from one of my friends is, hey, if you are going to drink, just try to always have a little bit of water with that. And you're going to be much better off tomorrow because of it.
Absolutely. Because, look, there's times that people drink on birthdays, weddings, New Year's, Halloween,
all the time.
So it's all the time. So people tend to overdo it. They're having fun. They're dressed up, having a good time. Have your fun. Just be smart. Watch out for the kids out there doing trick or treating, and just make it a good time. Everyone be good, about it.
And so bring it into this weekend beyond staying safe out there. And that was a great PSA.
You know, it just,
Kevin.
yeah, we live in a crazy world, all right? We saw what happened in Maine. We're thinking of you guys in Maine right now. It's a terrible situation. I hate that happens, but, you know, those guys aren't having a good weekend. But we can make it a good weekend. It's a happy Friday. We got cool stuff going on all over the country outside of Halloween parties. If that's not your thing, well, and you like music, we got the Super Unnatural Music Festival going on down in Scottsdale, Arizona. Beautiful, beautiful city. I'll be in Phoenix next weekend. So you want to go do a little, you know, kind of themed, you know, music fest, check it out in Scottsdale.
Yeah, definitely check that out. If you're in the Los Angeles area or are planning on being out there tomorrow on Saturday, check out the Cypress Hill Haunted Hill 2023. You know that they're going to have the fog machines going. You know that there's going to be other kind of smokes in the air. It's going to be a great time, great vibes. I would definitely check that out if I was in the Los Angeles area.
Hell yeah, Cypress Hill is awesome, man. I've been listening to them for a long time. Well, if you're in Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend and you're tired of losing money at the casino and you want to laugh a little bit, Daniel Tosh. Used to love Daniel Tosh on Comedy Central when he did Tosh.0.
He's the one that showed us the go that way thing.
Go this way. He forever corrupted all of us with that. He's like, oh yeah, you just go down that way.
Yeah, go over there.
So if you're in Vegas and you want to go check out Daniel Tosh, he is going to be doing some comedy. That's going to be tomorrow. Hopefully there's still tickets available. Daniel's hilarious.
In the city of sin, huh? Down here in Rawe, Louisiana, we got the French Food Festival that's running today through Monday. So you got a little extra time to get down there and get a little, you know, have fun and taste, put some taste on your buds and you know what I'm saying?
The French food. I've been to the French Quarter. It's very, you know, the Fleur de Lis. It's a very French atmosphere down there in Louisiana, and I love food festivals.
Yeah.
Just a great opportunity to taste some good stuff. So it's going on all weekend too. So check out the French Food Festival. We got a big race coming up.
Okay, yeah. Before we jump into that, we got our NASCAR. I had something. Now for the NASCAR update from your own Mash the Gas co-host, Kevin Batstone. I had something like that. I fucked it up.
Yeah, that's good. That was a good build-up. Mash the Gas, guys, only a couple episodes to go. NASCAR playoffs are winding down. This is it. This race 1 year ago is when Ross Chastain wall-rode his way to Phoenix. Epic. We're still talking about it a year later. That move's now illegal, so we won't see that in Martinsville this weekend, but I love Martinsville. It's the paperclip. It's the grandfather clock. It's a half-mile. Last chance to get into Phoenix for the Final Four for the NASCAR Championship. It's going to be cold here in Denver, but we're going to be celebrating Martinsville style. We're going to do some hot dogs at the house on Sunday because Martinsville's
what brand hot dog?
Probably Hebrew National.
Okay.
I like those.
What kind of buns are we doing? What kind of bun for the doggy?
We're still working that out because we're going to be doing chili dogs and kraut dogs.
Okay.
So we're going to have two styles going in honor of the Martinsville hot dog.
I'll bring the buns. You bring the dogs. I'll bring the chips. You bring the hogs.
We'll get it worked out.
We'll bring the friends. You'll be the Haas.
Yes. We're going to be zipped up on that one. It's going to be cold on Sunday.
Zipped up in
here in Denver.
It's going to be Boss.
It's going to be good.
Yes.
It's going to be good. It's the cutoff race, guys. This is huge. You know, for NASCAR, this is it. This is basically like, you know, it's basically like it's the champion. It's the League Series championship before you go to the Super Bowl, right? So it's your conference championship. That's the best way I would describe it. You know. And just like we just saw for the World Series, which is going on tonight, by the way. First game tonight, Art. First game tonight. Arizona, Texas, World Series. I don't know who I have. I want both of them to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the fact remains, Martinsville is going on, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to be in Phoenix next week for the championship. I'm probably going to be talking about that on next Happy Friday. We're out of time. We got to get out of here, guys. Definitely subscribe to us here on this YouTube channel. Show some love to Discussion Combustion Podcast as well. And if you do want to listen to a little bit of racing, Monday nights, Mash the Gas Podcast with me and Jeff Davis. Definitely give us some love on social media, Instagram and Facebook. That's going to be at Happy Friday USA. Definitely give us a follow, send us a comment, goof off with us. We like to do silly things on there. Again, like Art was saying earlier, Twitter and X. Get involved with the weekly polls. Give us a follow over there. That's at Happy Fry USA, and that's Fry as F-R-I, not like the French fry. At Happy Fry USA over there on Twitter X. And if you want to send us an email, happyfridayamerica@gmail.com. If you want to interact with the show, definitely want to show the Fricashinas some love as well. They're getting ready to play us out. Be safe this weekend, America. Hit it, Justin.